Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. How are you today? So, I don't think I've done a reading for you before, not sure, but I'd like to explain real quick kind of how this works. Um, I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. Try to describe the picture the best I can. There's always a reason for whatever they show or say. So if it doesn't make any sense now, keep it in mind because you'll either see it later, remember it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later. And they'll go, oh, I know what he's talking about. This is non exact science. We communicate the best way we can. So sometimes you got to stretch it outside the box a little bit. Um, it's his show. I allow them to do within reason to say or show whatever because they know best what we need to hear better than we do. So we're going to talk to your son today. He says, "Oh, Mom, this is the shit. This is and not this is in a good way. This is not like oh shit. This is the shit. This is awesome. Better than I planned." He says he's even like he's talking about like passed by like people that he's known before that they really didn't get along, people that maybe people that they didn't like each other or something. And he says it's like, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing, buddy?" And they just moved on. So, and in a way, that's kind of part of his healing, part of growing and evolving as a spirit or as a soul. Your soul, because there's no hate, there's no anger, there's no I want to kick your ass stuff up there. So even he says two. He's run across two. This one looks kind of like similar to his age, but maybe they just really didn't like each other. But when you get there, we're cool. Everything's cool. What they've shown me is when they get there, they're kind of cleansed. They're like it's like peeling like an onion. That's what I call it. Peeling the layers of earth off of you, the heavy, the anger, the envy, all those heavy negative energies, they kind of peel that stuff off of you until your soul is light and bright again. He's he's talking about you said something about you were going to go finally visit his resting place. Like a bright pin light. I don't even want to call it an orb because it's almost brighter than that. I don't know if it would just be the way the sun is shining through the trees or whether it's an actual super bright little tiny light when you get there. So even if it's a reflection off the windshield, but he's showing like out, like where he is. It's just, it almost hurts my eyes. It's so bright. It's like the little teeny tiny flashlight. And yeah, I shouldn't call it a flashlight. Not really. Um, so take some pictures while you're there. When we go do paranormal investigating, we use cameras all the time because there's things that the cameras pick up that our eyes don't. We use tape recorders because there are things tape recorders pick up that our ears don't. So we always use those kinds of things. So you might take a few pictures while you're there and look at it later and see if that light shows up. Or you might see it with your naked eye. I'm not sure. And you can possibly see it later in your home or sitting in your yard. I don't know how any better to explain this light. It's just a super, super, super teeny tiny bright, bright, bright light. Anyway, He says, it's really great. He said he can imagine himself being in a field of wildflowers. He can imagine himself sitting in a lawn chair, kicked back, drinking a beer. He can pretty much make his life any way he wants to within reason. I hear rules, rules. I don't know that there's really rules, but there's still certain things you're supposed to be learning, still certain things you're supposed to be doing for your soul to evolve. So you have to stay within the parameter, I guess. I don't know if that's exactly the way he wants me to explain it. He says it is heaven. Kind of like matter of fact, it is heaven. So he's sitting there in this lawn chair, and he's making a very big point. He's got his legs kind of crossed, making a very big point of me seeing this shoe on his foot. And I would call it a house slipper, house shoe. It's not a tennis shoe, but it looks like a shoe. It's not a flip flop, and it looks to be dark, like kind of brown. And he's kind of kicking his foot, and the shoe's kind of flopping on and off the back of his foot. But he doesn't have one on the other foot. Don't know why. Don't know if he lost one. You're going to find one. He's missing one. If you have a shoe of his that looks like that, maybe it won't be the same place where you put it before. I'm not sure what he's trying to show me with this. Or even you or somebody in your house, because it looks more like a man's slipper. Somebody in your house could have a slipper like this. Maybe they've lost one. Maybe one moves. He's not explaining himself. And that's okay. So however that fits for you, he knows best. He's also shown that he has a big dog with him. Looks like a black Labrador. Looks kind of fat, looks a little old, or at least very well fed. And this dog is with him. I'm asking him if the dog's still here or if the dog's up there. He's not saying which way. They used to always tell me, but they haven't been lately. I don't know what the deal is with that. So if you have a dog like that here, watch the dog. All animals that I know of and very small children see them, hear them, no problem, because nobody's told them they can't. So if the dog is here, watch the dog, because the dog will see him. Maybe look at the corner of the room and start wagging its tail. If the dog is with him, I wish he would say one way or the other, then no, somebody needs to know that he has their fur baby and they're safe. And their baby's with him. He's calling the dog old boy, old Roy, old something. Something along that line. He's mentioning a train, but I don't feel like it's a real train. So I don't know if maybe he had a toy train set. Maybe he had one that went around the bottom of the Christmas tree. He's not really showing a tree, but I still get the feeling that could be it. And then I hear the song. What is that song? It's a country western song. Long Black Train, I think it is. I'm hearing the music to that. I'm not exactly sure what kind of train for sure he's talking about. Well, I'm really mellow today. Usually I'm hyped up because I'm always hyped up. I'm just really mellow. There's something you guys made a pinky swear about. I don't know if you actually did the pinky swear. He says, yes, it will come true. Yes, it will happen. Just don't doubt it. Don't doubt it. It's coming. Okay, so he's showing a room. Excuse me. And I'm assuming it's in your house. I don't know if he still lived with you or if you have a spare room. It looks like a spare room. He's like got the dresser drawer open and he's like rummaging through the drawer like he's looking for something. He's kind of scrambling around in there. Like there's something. Do you have some of his stuff in a back room? Then he pulls out, whether it's actually in the drawer, I don't know, pulls out what looks like a necklace. You have a necklace of his. It looks like it's got something small on it, at least the way he's showing it. But it's like he was looking for it. It was kind of in the bottom of the drawer underneath a bunch of stuff. So I don't know if you recently can't find this, or you just found it, or you're going to find it. And he's just kind of holding it like this and kind of swinging it, almost like a pendulum, the way he's swinging it. I do love you, Mom. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He wants me to tell you that what I've learned is before we come here, we come up with an exit plan. And it can be like when you're 1 day old, it can be like when you're 100 years old. Whatever that time span that you decide on before you come here, that's the period of time you're going to leave. It can waver a little bit depending on what's going on with people around you, what they're going to learn from you leaving, or what they're going to learn before you leave. But it's kind of like when they say your number's up, your number's up. And I hate saying that, but it actually is kind of the way it is. And the only people that cheat that are basically people that commit suicide. They kind of cheat the system because you didn't stay for your contract that you made before you came. You don't get in any more trouble. I mean, you're still loved. It's almost like he knew he was leaving. Like before this happened, maybe he said something to you that kind of made you go, why would he say something like that? Like he wouldn't be here very long or something. Because in his subconscious, he knew. So he wasn't shocked when he left. And it seems like I'm running into more and more people lately that know things like that. That like it's getting easier for us. Thinning of the veil, if you want to call it. I don't know what to call it. Well, I'm rambling. Good grief. I don't usually ramble that much. He's talking about a skylight. If you have a skylight in your house, maybe it leaks, maybe there's something wrong with it, maybe something about a skylight. I know I have one in my camper. So if you do have some stuff in a drawer in your house like that in a spare room, you might go back there and look. Maybe everything's been mussed up. I know they tend to move things around my house. They're not supposed to. I tell them that's not allowed, but they've been doing it lately. So you might go check the drawers out. Or if you know where this necklace is, you might see if it's moved, change places, change position. Something about tripping over a dog. And he's showing the black lab that's with him. It's laying down now. And he's literally tripping over it. But I don't know that he means that exact dog. Somebody just tripped over their dog or gonna trip over their dog. He's trying to validate that it's him, that he knows about that. He's talking about an aunt he has with him. She doesn't feel that close to me. So it could even be a friend's aunt. or it could be an in-law's aunt. But she's been with him, around him, since he's been there. It's not like she's there all the time, I don't feel like, but she kind of keeps an eye on him, if that makes sense. He says pretty much he's gotten to kick back and rest and learn and grow and brighten his light, he says. Never go back to that bright light. I love you, Mom. I'm sorry. Again. Again, he says that. Well, he's got me really calm. Really, he's cool, calm, cool, collected, at ease. Feels good. Looks good. Trying to ask him, he's been, really any signs, but other than the drawer, he's not really showing anything. Sometimes you might, and I promise you 1,000%, you don't need me to tell him anything. He can hear you, he can see you. I promise you that. You just have trouble seeing the other way. So talk to him all you want to. He hears you. He says he hears you rambling sometimes. And when you ramble, he sits there and goes, I know, I know, I know. He's holding up his little finger, pinky swear. I know. He's being maybe too mellow. I'm good. So since he can hear you, talk to him all you want to and ask him to bring you signs if that's what you want. Sometimes they think they'll scare you. They don't want you to think your house is haunted. They don't want to freak you out, make you think a boogeyman's coming in the house or something. Sometimes you need to give him permission. So if you want signs from him, ask him to come in. Ask him. And then just kind of let it go and then watch and see what happens. I know sometimes I hear my refrigerator door shut when there's nobody here. I go, okay, who's here? You're not supposed to be in my house without my permission. With that, he's going to leave. He's going to fall asleep in the lawn chair outside. He's so comfy. I'll see you when you get here, Mom. Don't worry about that. I'll be waiting. Don't get in a hurry, because I'll still be here waiting. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here kicked back. So stay there as long as you're supposed to. I'll still be waiting. And he's kind of nodding his head, kind of matter of fact. Yep, sure will. I love you. He's taking his finger and he's going like this on top of his head to his hair. So you should feel that. Like if a fly lands on my spiky stuff, I can feel it moving. So you should feel that little tickle and know that'll be him. Validate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, and ask him to bring you more if you want it. With that, he says, gotta go, gotta go. I'm always with you. Always will be. Pinky swear. Love you, Mom. And with that, he's leaving. Much love to you, my dear. Good luck. Take some pictures while you're there. It should be good. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved one. See you later.